Hello and welcome. In this video, we are going to learn about what exactly cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT is all about. We will discuss what CBT is, how it works, and the type of conditions it can help treat. Let's get started. In simple terms, cognitive behavioral therapy is a form of psychotherapy that improves mental health. To be specific, it is a form of therapy that helps people identify and challenge negative thought patterns and behaviors. As you can see, the word CBT itself is self-explanatory. C is for cognitive, your thoughts, B is for behavior, your actions, and T is for therapy. So the cognitive component focuses on changing our negative thinking patterns, and the behavioral component helps us identify our negative behaviors. This ultimately helps in learning new skills to manage and overcome these behaviors. CBT operates on the premise that it is our thoughts that serve as the foundation for our emotions and behaviors. It recognizes that these three components, thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, are in a constant state of interaction, creating a cyclical pattern of influence. And as we all know that emotions are difficult to change directly, so CBT can guide the patient in acquiring specific skills aimed at enhancing mood and altering behavior by modifying the way he or she thinks about the situation. Understanding this cycle can help you see how your thoughts affect your feelings and actions. Let's dive right in with an example. The first part of the cycle is the situation. This is the event or scenario that triggers your thoughts and feelings. Imagine you are in an interview for your dream job. That's the situation. Now let's move on to the next part of the cycle, your thoughts. When you are in that interview, a thought might automatically pop into your mind, something like, I'm not qualified for this. This is an example of a negative automatic thought. It's often unrealistic and unhelpful, but it can happen without us even realizing. Next, we have the emotions. That thought of not being qualified makes you feel anxious and full of self-doubt. These emotions naturally follow from the negative thought, and they can really influence how we feel in that moment. Finally, we get to behavior. Because you are feeling anxious and doubting yourself, you may end up performing poorly in the interview. The cycle starts with the situation, but notice how the thought affects everything that follows, the emotions you feel and the actions you take. So just to recap, the situation is the interview. The negative thought is, I am not qualified. This thought causes emotions like anxiety and self-doubt, which then lead to poor behavior, like underperforming in the interview. Let's take another example. Consider a situation where a college student is scheduled to give a presentation to a large audience. Or maybe someone is giving presentation at work. Their thoughts might revolve around the fear of public speaking, leading to negative beliefs like, I will mess up or people will judge me. I guess most of us can relate to this situation. So what happens is that these thoughts generate feelings of anxiety and nervousness. As a result, their behavior might involve avoiding eye contact or speaking too quickly, or even procrastinating on preparing the presentation. This behavior in turn reinforces their initial thoughts, creating a cycle where negative thoughts contribute to anxious feelings, influencing behaviors and vice versa. The good news is, in CBT we can break this cycle. Thoughts can influence our feelings. This shows that we have a lot more control on our minds than we think, And we can control our feelings and behavior just by changing our thoughts. The way we interpret about a specific situation determines how we feel about it and ultimately determines how we will react to that situation. The way we act can have a positive or negative impact on our feelings. A negative interpretation can cause a negative emotional reaction, and in the same way, a positive interpretation can cause a positive emotional reaction. Alright, good job. So we covered the basics of CBT. Let's keep going and I'll see you in the next video.